Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, y'all give a big Poor Richard's Bookshop welcome to Michelle, my dad.
I haven't really read in a long time, and this is kind of the poem I wrote to read. I really had no desire to read, and then I've been somehow getting opportunities to read. And this one I wrote, like, I remember growing up and being really moved by, like, starvation and bad things, like, that go around, and I always wanted to help, and, like, my parents let me, you know, I guess, adopt a child through the World Vision programs, and I always felt, like, moved to do those kind of things. And then recently, with all of the news with Africa and their famines, I was brought back to that, like, just anguish, and then I was so mad, too, because no one was covering it. I'm like, there's really bad things going on in the world, and we're worried about phone tapping in Europe of celebrities. And I'm like, well, you know, I was kind of irritated by that. And so I wrote this, and I wrote it to maybe inspire people to, during the holiday times, instead of just buying gifts for your, like, friends and family, but to remember the global community and, like, your local food charities, because it's a bad thing that goes on right now that shouldn't happen, because we all have the ability to help. I mean, people, you know, we all can. Even I live paycheck to paycheck, but I still try to help. So, but it's called Humanity. So, some days I'm overwhelmed by the suffering that I see, a guilt deep inside, petty selfishness for fleeting things. The entire world over, people struggling to survive, their last breath a silent wail, no strength left to cry. A hunger ache so dire, a thirst to never end, a baby never given the fair chance to flourish and live. Miracle made in pleasure, left to a world of unrelenting pain, no innocence of adolescence, only cruelty remains. A multitude of troubled faces, displaced souls in empty places, anguished, hardened, thinned, and weak, broken by starvation, war, and toxic greed. Wholehearted resolve can't change the situation. Only relief from outside will save this famished nation. So little will help, so much is needed. Like loaves and fishes, it must be repeated. A generation in danger may be unable to recover unless we act now and help one another.
All right. All right. Okay, your next poet coming up to the stage, now that he's made a complete ass of himself, is a poet by the name of Tavis Brunson.
Yeah. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
Thank you.
Welcome, Tavis.
Outrageous. Was that a compliment? Or?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's many different levels of outrageous.
Well, mine is outrageous.
Because some rage when it goes out.
No.
Jesus. Woo! Yeah, that's when you get restraining orders and all that kind of stuff like that. It gets ugly. It gets ugly. But this is, I'm going to do a piece. And, because we all go through stuff, right? We all, you know, we all have issues, and we all make mistakes, and we all endure hurt. And anybody here ever been hurt? Yeah. So it would be safe to say that y'all know pain, right?
Right.
Well, see, I also know pain. The only difference is I actually know pain. I know pain so well, in fact, I know Pain's last name, Perry. Pain Aloysius Perry. I know him so well that we have dinner together. He came by my house the other day. I cooked spaghetti and garlic bread, and with him, he brought this alabaster box, which he broke across my heart and spoon-fed me my tears. And so much I cried that the sodium made my blood pressure rise, and he took that broken box that consequently caused my broken heart, and he said, here, you put the pieces back together. And I didn't think that was fair, because I'm looking at the pieces of this box and the pieces of my heart, and I can't tell them apart. So I dropped them and picked up my notebook and pen and tried to use the leaves and ink to make mortar in my words as bricks. But instead of fixing this broken wall, I built this wall to protect it. And it had a door, but I wouldn't give Pain the key. But all this poet's notebooks and all this poet's pens couldn't put this broken poet back together again, so I blame Pain. I even made fun of his middle name. And the wishes, and the wishes. Then I saw himself in his own eyes as he explained that this wasn't his fault because that alabaster box was my heart. And he was merely a byproduct obligated to show his face because he actually got my heart from faith. And I know faith. I know faith so well, in fact, that I know Faith's last name, Franklin. Faith Maluka Franklin. And I invited him to breakfast because I needed answers. I needed answers like Dee, the dancer who went by the stage name Destiny. She sat across from me in this booth at the Waffle House, and I overheard her asking this cat she met in the strip club why she had to have this type of life when all she wanted was to be with her son. So over a bowl of Captain Crunch with a side of raisin toast, I asked Faith why. Why did you give my heart to pain? And you could have heard the grapes turn into the same raisins in that toaster. It got so quiet in there, and I swear I thought I saw tears swell up in his eyes, and with a look that said, it's the end, he explained, Tavis, I don't exist. Only the past 39 years is your imaginary friend. See, you gave me a place in your life as a kid so you would be held responsible for what you did. So when things didn't go your way, you could just say, oh, that was just fate. So you probably guess I didn't like the answer he gave. So I made fun of his middle name. I even sang it like a little song. My name's Maluka. I live on the second floor. I live upstairs from you. And then after the third chorus, he was gone. And then it was just me. And I was confused. And y'all not used to being confused. I needed peace. So I paged him. Peace. Yeah, I know peace. I know peace so well. In fact, I know Peace's last name. Well, actually, Peace is his last name. Because his first and middle are Prince of. And the next thing that happened was like that scene in the movie, Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood, where the two guys were standing next to each other, talking to each other on their cell phones, because when Jesus, that's peace, answered, it startled me because he was standing right there the whole time. And as I cried over the pieces of my broken heart, he wiped my tears away with his hair soaking his locks, and he held me. Y'all, he held me, then he pulled back, took my face in his hand, kissed my forehead, looked me dead in the eye, and said, son, I'm going to tell you like I told you, boy Blues, Tavis, you're going to be okay. Then he went on to tell me as he held me that I didn't have to tear down that wall around my heart, but he did need the key. So I gave it to him, and he opened the door, picked my heart up off the floor, bits of it falling through the holes in his hands, but he caught them too and put them all into his side, but those soldiers pierced him through on that cross on which he died, and then he pulled it out whole. I said, but Jesus, I can still see the cracks. And he said, they don't go away. And I asked him about the pain that remained and my faith still in question. And he said the cracks in the pain are there to remind me that I'm still human. And son, you're going to have to let go of fate because only your destiny is real. So when your heart is broken and on the floor in pieces it lies, and so real is the pain that you can cook for it and give it a middle and last name, y'all. Remember this refrain, the Prince of Peace was always there. Just let him behind the wall. And if you don't know him, confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that God raised Jesus from the dead, because the potter wants to put you back together again. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. At this time, before we go any further, I have to recognize somebody that's in the office. In the office.
In the office?
I don't want to put you back together again. All right. Before we go any further, I have to make a special recognition of someone who is in the house. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta rewind. That's the life. Fuck it, just go back and do it again. All right. And Kira, hello. She's here representing Slam Charlotte. She is the artistic director. She runs it. Thank you for blessing us with your presence here this evening. The next Slam is next Friday, correct? Yes. Next Friday. Not tomorrow, but that's this Friday. For those that aren't bright enough, Miles, pay attention. That's next Friday, a week from tomorrow, at Spirit Square in McGloin Theater at 8 o'clock. Hopefully I'll be there. Hopefully I'll get in because we got to draw and all that kind of stuff like that. So hopefully we'll be there. But even more important than that is, and the big guy that's going to come up here and do way better poetry than me, I'm sure he's going to tell you some more about it also, the National Poetry Slam. Ooh. Hello. That's all I'm going to say. But with that right now, this man, what time is it? Because I had about a 20-minute introduction prepared. I'm going to see if I can cut it down to about 13 and a half minutes. Because I think this is the first time I've had the opportunity to introduce you. Am I correct, Meg? Ed? Meg? That's when you take the first letter of the last name and put it before the first name. It's just a little thing I do. But this brother hails to us all the way from, well, most recently, Arizona. He now lives here in the great city of Charlotte, North Carolina. Ed and I, we met, I think, did you meet Southern Fried in Alabama before then? Okay, well, for the sake of conversation, we met in 2006 at Southern Fried in Alabama. The first time, clearly, I was drunk or something. But well, 2000, Alabama sticks out because he robbed me in the hotel. And then, I got over it eventually. And then he moved down here. But the thing I love about Ed Mabrey living here, we had to come up with some rules because oftentimes we get mistaken for each other. And, we both have lots. Like, one of the most obvious rules is, like, whoever comes in first, however their hair is, the other one has to be the other way. So my hair was up. So when he walked in, okay, I can't put my hair up because Tabitha's hair is up. You see what I'm saying? Like, little different, like we walk, if we're in the same spot, we both see a girl that we like, we got to give each other, the eye, and then, paper, rock, scissors in the back to figure out, that kind of thing like that. We just, because it's kind of like two planets occupying the same space. Usually this is not allowed, but it is happening here tonight. Without any further ado, this man here has been, and when I say has been, not that he's a has been, because he's still doing it, but he has worn a crown himself of the #1 poet in the world. That's in the world. That's Earth. Everybody say Earth.
Earth.
Earth, right. Not just Charlotte, not just the U.S., not just the Northern Hemisphere, but world. This man here, published author. He also has CDs and products that we really, 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 really need for you to support tonight, because I'm going to borrow money from him later. So, without any further ado, put your hands together for my friend and Bacon Brooks partner, Mr. Ed Mabrey.
Professional. How much time?
Give me a good 20 right now.
Take a break.
And we'll take a break. And then we're going to work you like a rented mule after that.
All right. Everyone, please, bow your head, close your eyes, bow your head, close your eyes. Do not worry, I'm not a Scientologist.
Wait a minute, hold on, because this is how I got robbed last time.
So when I start the show, bow your head, close your eyes, bow your head, close your eyes. Do not worry, it's not a prayer. Bow your head, close your eyes, everyone. You are in this room wearing what you have on right now. You are now no longer in this room, you're in a white room, all white walls. It is as big as you choose for it to be. You are no longer wearing what you have on right now. You're wearing your favorite outfit ever in life, no matter how old or young you were when it actually existed. You're no longer wearing that favorite outfit. You are now totally naked. Do not feel ashamed. You're in the room by yourself. Who cares? Get over yourself. To your left foot, there's a basket. In that basket is everything that went wrong today. In that basket, you're going to add everything that went wrong yesterday. Everything that went wrong the day before that. The day before, the day before. Every X that you still hold on to, therefore they're not actually an X. Every road rage, every bad moment, your credit score, your mortgage, your payment, your job, the lost job, the unemployment payment, your health concerns, your fears, your worries, your God, your Jesus, your Buddha, your Allah, your atheist, your agnosticism, all goes in that basket. How much money you do or don't have, your worries, your fears, your concerns, everything you think might go wrong for you in the future that you're worried about now is if you don't actually have control of it in the basket. Every time you thought one more drink was actually going to fix the problem in the basket. Every time you woke up and realized you were not granted another day just to piss it off, but actually to make something worthwhile in the basket. Every time you thought about giving up in the basket. Every time you felt unloved, looking at your own reflection in the mirror in the basket. Now, take your left foot. In front of your left foot is a right little red button. Step on that red button. it just opened up a bottomless pit. You would take that basket and kick it into that bottomless pit. If for some reason there's no such thing as a bottomless pit in this world, do not worry. We are professionals and plan for that. At the bottom of this bottomless pit is an eternal fire that'll burn every single one of those problems. Now, you are no longer naked. You are wearing your favorite outfit you ever had, no matter how old or young you were when you actually had it. Now, you are no longer wearing that outfit. You're wearing exactly what you have on right now. You are no longer in that white room. You are in Poor Richard's bookshop. Now, you are sitting in Poor Richard's bookshop. Open your eyes, raise your head, and take advantage of your life in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. True story. The guy in front of me at the Subway restaurant I stopped at the other day ordered a 12-inch club sandwich with everything. And I asked him, how in the hell could you possibly stomach all those damn toppings? He turns. He smiled at me with a mouthful of honesty and said, well, it ain't so hard when it's the first meal of the day, but the last one for the week. Asshole, right? But then I looked at him and realized he had on a suit, and I figured maybe he has a poor taste in timing and jokes considering our current economic crisis in spite of the hope of Obama. But then, y'all, I looked a little closer. I realized his shoes have been blacked in with a magic marker. His pants are way too big for his body. His tie had some ancient old stain on it. He had those old cell phone Bluetooth earpieces, and the jacket he had on didn't match the rest of his outfit. Y'all, his right hand looked like it had been broken and never healed right, like he knew what it meant to have to fight for a meal or a place to sleep. And the bulge in his pocket told me he had all $5.98 in pennies, nickels, and dimes. And the look in the cashier's eyes said, I'm 16 and the boss ain't around, and that makes me God. So there's no way I'm about to count all that crap for some homeless bum. So I figured I'd buy his meal, y'all. I traded in for his story in Kira. And this one, y'all, this is the story he told me. Nothing. He sat and separated that sandwich till he made more future meals out of it than Jesus could. And I searched the walls of my soul for some portrait of inspiration I could take down and share with him. And the best thing I come up with is, so what you used to do? And he says, well, fuck, what do you do? And I say, sir, you're looking at a professionally touring poet. And this nigga had the nerve to laugh lettuce all over the damn counter. And I thought I had it bad. He said, I guess we're both just starving artists, except you look like you're starving, so I must be the artist. I'm like, yo, at least you mean that the other way around, homeboy. Without pausing at all, he said, no, not really. And right then, y'all, I remembered some movie I rented a while back at one of those red boxes in front of the Walmart by my house about some guy being a lawyer or a stockbroker or something, homeless and becoming all rich and millionaire-like. And I figured I'd share that with him, get him all happy about his life. But his eyes said, don't you dare. Don't you dare mention Will Smith, his cute as a button fucking son Jaden, and that bullshit biopic Pursuit of Happiness to me. Waltz with that analogy like you think it's going to cure the common cold. You see any cameras around here, boy? He asked me. Are you waiting for some of your action before you start actually living your life? Or maybe you thought you heard cut, he said, and you figured it was okay to give up. He told me the jacket he was wearing, he stole from a hotel lobby after overhearing the owner set up a date with his secretary, but not his wife. The pants, he told me, he pulled off a friend of his who froze to death last year on the homeless shelter stoops trying to get in. The cell phone earpiece, he said, is so when I walk around downtown talking to the voices I hear in the sky that I think are my ancestors hearing over me. No one thinks I'm crazy. I fit in just fine with the rest of the iPhone, chirp, mobile boost, texting the same fucker you're about to meet in 5 minutes, jack-offs. But he told me the shoes, boy, I'm wearing right now. The shoes, he said, are mine, bought and paid for fair and square. They've tasted the beaches of Rhoda, Spain, and been firmly planted up the ass of Harlem. They've kissed the White House lawn and pretty much, fucked and fought everywhere from Antwerp to Austin. And if I have my way, he said, they're going to do a lot more one and a lot less of the other. The more steps in Jericho's got miles. See, I might have lost my weight, he told me, but I ain't the last one standing in the Subway restaurant tonight, he said. Me not having an address doesn't make me homeless any more than you having one. This means the mailman knows how to find your jail cell, boy. He said, we both have lives, son, and we both are living them. And we both know by now that clothes don't make a man, man. His heart does. So who knows, he says. Maybe I am, in fact, Jesus incarnate, come down to a frickin' Subway restaurant to see if you'd help me now, so I know whether or not later to let you suck the manna from my fingertips in heaven, or maybe I'm just some homeless bum who might be down on his luck, but is still smart enough to know the difference between me, you, and 98% of the rest of the American population is our next paycheck and the skin of our teeth from being exactly where I am right now, he said. But make no mistake about it, boy. when we both walk out by this restaurant tonight, he said, we're both walking out of it as men. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Years ago, someone would have told me, hey, you're going to be a poet and like pay bills off of it. I wouldn't even have laughed at them. They wouldn't have got that much attention. I just kept walking like crazy people. Take $1, leave me alone. But, yeah, so I got into this in the most innocent of ways. I got my heart broken like everyone else in this room at least once. If you haven't got your heart broken yet, screw you. It's coming. I didn't go polite like, oh, good for you. No, fuck you. So at least one reason you haven't, because I got it twice, so one of them belongs to you. I went to an open mic. I lived like a block away from the biggest open mic in the city in Columbus, Ohio, where I was living at the time. And to the point I could hear the people, like when they left, like getting in their cars when my window was open, and they're laughing and joking. And I saw all the time to open mic. And then I split up with my fiance at the time, and went through the whole "I hate you, please call me" phase. And I figured, okay, I'm so sad I can't get out of this, and I can't afford therapy, and I'm not going to commit suicide because my mama will beat me in hell. I should leave heaven, come down to hell, beat my ass. Be like hell squared. So I said, I know what I'll do. I'll write a sad poem, and it'll sound like a suicide note, and I'll take everyone else in the room down with me. So it'll be a mass suicide using words. And I did that for like 4 weeks. Literally, I read. It was like a 12-page typewriter days, a Brother typewriter, a 12-page single-spaced poem. So it was just a rant, it was a suicide note. And every week I'll read like 3 pages, and then just walk off. Thank you very much. And the next week people are like, hey, good to see you, because they're thinking like, hopefully you're better now. And you're like, part 2. You're like, oh, Jesus. You're like, thank you very much. And I did that for 4 weeks. To the point people see me be like, there's a girl over there, maybe you should go talk to her. She looks lonely, you don't know. And then after that 4th week I was done, I was like, I'm better, I got it all out. Like the entire relationship is out, I feel great. And then that show was on a Wednesday, and that was a Wednesday, so like Thursday I was happy. Friday I was like going to movies and singing and listening to the Monkees. And Saturday I was playing the Beatles and so on and so forth. And then like Monday hit, and I started getting that itch like, poetry's coming up. I don't need it anymore. And then by Tuesday I was like, I'm not going to go. And then Wednesday morning, I was sitting at work, and I was like, well, I really want to go, but I have nothing to say. And somebody said, well, just say something. So I sat at work instead of working. Go USA. Still got paid, wrote a poem, went there, read it, and someone was like, wow, it's really good to hear you, pass that heartache. We look forward to hearing what you have to say. And it was just a very supportive community of people. At the time, we did not know about touring poets, national poet. We didn't know what Poetry Slam was, none of that stuff at the point. And after that, it just became like second church. Just kind of, hey, it's Sunday morning or Saturday morning or Friday night, whatever your religion is. You get up and get ready, and I'll get up and get ready for church. So poetry shows on Wednesday. And went from that to one day someone said, hey, we're having a competition. In first place, $100. And I was like, shit, okay, great. And my mom's thinking the place was $5 a week to get into, and it was every week. So I'm like, oh, that'll cover me for 20 weeks. Sweet. So I'll be like, here, keep your 100, and I can just show up and be like, list. It'll be a list for one. And I'd impress some girl like, hey, babe, you want to come with me tonight? Just put her down on mine, watch that. And so I slammed and got 3rd. And I was like, okay, this sucks. And I got 3rd, mind you, not 2nd, 3rd for a year. Every slam they had, for a year, I got 3rd. And I was like, okay, yeah. And then finally, a year, I was like, this is bullshit. And on their 1-year anniversary, I slammed and I won. And then I didn't lose a slam anywhere in the country that I went to for a year and a half. And then by that point, someone I saw at National Poetry Slam was like, hey, you're pretty good. We like that one poem we heard you do on stage. Would you care to come to where we live after this is over and perform? And I was like, sure. I've never been to Chicago as an adult. So I left Columbus, went to Chicago, performed, and like, hey, you can do like 4 or 5 poems. Like, great, did my 4 or 5 poems. I walked off and someone said, here you go, and handed me an envelope, and there was money in it. And I was like, is this a mistake? And they're like, no, you get paid for it. And I was like, and that was, yeah, and I was like, what? I've been doing this for free? I've been paying to do this crap. And then you realize what a blessing it is that not everyone gets the courage to even come share at an open mic or come listen to other poets, much less perform, much less slam, much less compete, much less win, much less tour and get paid.